Hello there. Thank you so much for tuning into this channel. My name is Tosin Tender. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I am so counting on your comments as well. Thank you. It was a Saturday afternoon, and Abimbola had called Timothy to come over to her apartment and that they needed to talk. She told him with an urgency in her voice that it was important that they had that conversation before she goes for her NYSC 4 days after, which would make it impossible for Tim to see her for a while, so he made his way to her place as she requested. Apparently, she had received a call-up letter the previous day that was taking her away from Tim to the far north Zamfara state. She knew that she might not see him in a long time, and she was sad. Apart from being sad, there was something she needed to be sure of, and it was best she knows where to go from there. Tim was sharply dressed when he came through the door of Abimbola's apartment, looking as cute as ever. It was a Saturday, and it was without his official presence, of course. Drawn back with the way Abimbola sat on her bed in a one-room student's apartment, looking defeated, he came to an abrupt stop after shutting the door. "Are you okay?" he asked, worry creasing his face. "I'm fine," she said, rolling her eyeballs, quite unhappy. "Is it Zamfara?" he inquired further. "No," she replied, with a forlorn look on her face and a deep sigh. "Sit down, Tim," she said, offering him a chair by the only table in the room, and he took it, sitting at the edge. "Tim, we've been dating for how long now?" she asked. Tim seemed confused about the question. "Is there a problem? Have I done something wrong?" he tried to ask. "Oh, just answer me, Tim." She cut him short mid-sentence. Tim was worried he had done something wrong. He just couldn't really understand why she was behaving the way she was. He had a feeling it had something to do with Zamfara, and he just needed to know. "Does this conversation have anything to do with Zamfara? Because if it does, I already told you," he was saying. "I know what you told me, Tim, and I can still remember every word." She cut him short. "Just give me an answer," she snapped. Tim was beginning to sense trouble, and he didn't like it, but because of how he met her when he got in, he shook his head a bit, looked intently at her, and said, "Roughly 6 months. All along, did you really love me as you claimed?" she asked. "I mean, do you still love me?" She knew he did, but she wanted him to say it. The affirmation is all the assurance she needed. Taken aback by the question, Tim leaned back in the chair, the question weighing him down. He couldn't speak, and all he could do was stare at the woman whom he loved, sitting right in front of him, doubting his love for her. He sat upright again, looked down, like someone praying but having nothing to really pray about, because he was more worried than he appeared. His mind was too occupied to even say a word. He stood from the chair, looked down at her again, shook his head violently, unbelievably, and wrapped his fingers together, placing it behind his neck. His head bowed, and then immediately dropped it again. He looked up at her. "Did you? Have I?" was all he could mutter. He turned around, paced a few times in the small space in the room, stopped for a while, looked at Abimbola again, maybe seeing her would give him something to say to her. He moved closer to her where she was seated on the bed, sat down beside her, then took her hands and turning her around to face him, he said, "Bola, I don't just claim that I love you," trying to stress the word claim. "I do love you with every part of me. I can do anything within my power for you," he said. "Since the first day I met you, I never wanted to let you go. You made me the happiest man when you agreed that we date. Why would you ever doubt my love for you?" He concluded by asking, worry written all over his face. Abimbola felt it. Tim's love, to the very core of her being. She wanted this moment. Tim's love was all that really mattered, and that was all she wanted. His love was different and sincere. She loves him too, and didn't want to lose him. But she wanted to make sure he would still love her after she tells him what she had to say. So she didn't show how the love she saw in his eyes affected her. She had a mission, and she had to achieve it. She snatched her hands from his. She stood up, leaving him seated alone on the bed and quickly turning her back to him so he wouldn't see her eyes. How his declaration of love had melted her previously determined resolve. Tim, not understanding what was going on, stood up and covering the little distance between them, held her shoulders, and again turned her around so he could see her face, tears already welling up in her eyes, and Tim was more confused. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Reflex titled When Love Happens. I'm sure you really enjoyed it. I am super excited to tell you that the next episode will be super exciting as well. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notification. Don't also forget to comment. Thank you very much, and do take care of yourself.